This is the Cubs POSTCAST, your instant game reaction for the Chicago Cubs. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
What's up, everybody? Welcome into the Locked On Cubs postcast here on the Locked On Cubs YouTube channel. Ben Brown was dealing in this game. The Cubs only give up one hit to the Cincinatti Reds, and they win 2-0 on this Saturday. Joe George here with you. Find me on all social media platforms at Joe George Radio. And today's show is brought to you by FanDuel. Right now, new customers can get $200 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. Lots to talk about in this game. Ben Brown, his performance that we saw. We'll talk about the good and the bad of the offense. Obviously, the bad is with runners in scoring position, but in the end, they came through. And a frustration I have. We're going to praise Craig Counsell, but I'm a little frustrated with him as well, specifically with just what's happening at first base and Michael Busch. But let's start the show off today with our turning point of today's game.
Time to reveal where the game was won or lost. It's the turning point.
All right, turning point of this game for me today, before the game starts, Craig Counsell. We give managers a hard time. We will on this show today at the end of it. But you got to give them credit where it's due. The Cubs make the decision as a staff to go with an opener for Ben Brown, who we know has come out in a lot of his performances this year and has not been very good in the first inning. They talked about it on the broadcast today. When he starts performances, his starts, he's like an 11 out of 10. He's too hyped up. He's over the top a little bit, and he struggles. We see him typically settle down. And you have your best three guys typically at the top of the lineup as well. So today, they put Drew Pomeranz out there, who goes 3 up and 3 down and does his job, and that leads right into our Locked On Player of the Game.
This is the Locked On Player of the Game.
After Craig Counsell makes that decision, he's rewarded with Ben Brown going out there. 6 innings pitched, 1 hit, 1 walk, 9 strikeouts in the game. So instead of having to face Elly De La Cruz and those guys 3 times, he faces them twice. Ben Brown was awesome in this game. The fastball was good. The curveball was good. We were seeing swing and miss, check swings all over the place for this game. So he was just dealing on the mound. And it feels like this is something we're going to see a lot, especially when you have an opportunity like you do against the Reds, where you know they're going to put lefties at first and third in the order. They're not going to change that just because of an opener. No team ever will. So if you're facing a team that's lefty dominant, I think this is something that we're going to see continue to stay for Ben Brown. His next start projected to be against the Detroit Tigers. So Kerry Carpenter at the top of that lineup. Very good baseball player. Maybe they'll do it again. I think it's kind of a wait and see, but for today, it worked out very well. And if it worked out this well, I would expect to see the Cubs to try it again. If it does help Ben Brown relax a little bit and not come in so amped up to a game, and that's what they're looking at as the problem. And the other problem is the third time through the order, they got rid of those issues today. And that's why it worked so well. That's why it's a turning point of the game, and Ben Brown's the player of the game, because Craig Counsell, this move that he did for this game specifically, and maybe for more going forward, it worked out exactly as they planned. Ben Brown went out there, and he was just dealing. I mean, whether it was grounders or pop-ups or strikeouts, like he was just getting guys out left and right. I mean, it's funny they talked about on the broadcast. I was thinking the same thing when the no-hitter got broken up. Like, he was so good. You kind of don't even think the word no-hitter and Ben Brown, and obviously it would have been a combined no-hitter if he doesn't give the 1 hit in this game. But what I thought was interesting, too, was just he was getting it done in a little bit of every different way. Like, we were seeing strikeouts with the curve, dropping out of the zone, the fastball, all of it, his 2 pitches, really. That's all he has. He was able to use both of them very, very effectively in this game. We'll take your guys' comments, reactions live here on YouTube or on social media at Joe George Radio as well. Let's talk some about the offense, the positives first. We'll talk about the negatives and the Michael Busch, Justin Turner stuff in the second segment of the show today. So you look at what they did there in the 8th inning. All day long, the Cubs have guys on base. Okay, Matt Shaw, when he walks in the bottom of the 8th, that's the 6th time in the game that they have the leadoff hitter get on base. 6 times. You're 0 for 12 at that point, or you're 0 for 10 at that point. 0 for 9. Got that correct there. 0 for 9 at that point in the game, going into the 8th inning with runners in scoring position. So you're not getting it done. You have plenty of opportunity. So the positive here is that they had lots of guys on base. They had guys on base. They had guys at first and second multiple times. Carson Kelly hit into two double plays with runners on first and second with one out that could have turned into something. So they had guys on base. They just weren't doing anything with it. But when it mattered most, the Cubs got it done. Matt Shaw walk, Ian Happ hits into what should be a double play, turns into a fielder's choice. Great hustle play, kind of the theme of this inning here in the 8th inning. Kyle Tucker gets a hit, so it's first and second with one out. Kyle Tucker on the day, 2 for 3, and a nasty curveball right off the elbow as well earlier in the game. So he gets on base 3 times in this game. And then Seiya Suzuki, he hits this looping high pop out into right field, and it's right near the guy that they showed way too much on television. I thought we weren't going to do that ever again, just ridiculing a fan constantly for reaching into play, but that's fine. They didn't. They chose to show him a million times. Seiya Suzuki ball, it drops right there, right as the wall is converging. Benson, the Reds out right fielder, you could tell, A, he lost it. B, he's probably scared of the wall there. I would be too. I don't blame him. The thing lands, and all of a sudden, it is 1-0 Cubs. Carson Kelly draws a walk. So you got bases loaded with one out. PCA, he flies out, swinging at a ton of stuff outside the zone again in this game. I mean, they were attacking him, low and away towards his kneecaps pretty much every single pitch. Now, that seems to be the book on him right now, is they're just going to keep attacking and attacking that lower part. Yes, that's not too far off from where he hit that golf ball home run just the other day, but they're attacking PCA there constantly. That to me is the one spot of his game that needs the most work right now, because so many teams just keep going down and as in as they can go. I mean, one of the swings and misses he had or foul tips he had would have hit him in the kneecap if he would have just, not swung at it. So they're attacking him down low. He eventually gets out. Dansby Swanson, grounder, should be inning over. Ellie De La Cruz, he decides to all of a sudden, kind of take his sweet time. Dansby Swanson, though, hustles down the field, safe at first base, and the Cubs have a 2-0 win. So you find a way to grind out a W. That is a good win today. You're pitching phenomenal in this game from start to finish. Pomeranz, Ben Brown, Brad Keller, and then Daniel Palencia comes in, does his job. Great catch by Pete Crow-Armstrong there in center field. Huge diving catch there from him. He's so much fun in the outfield as well. So he comes in, again, gets his 5th save on the season. Daniel Palencia does. So your pitching was phenomenal. Your offense finally came through in the 8th inning when you needed it most, and Ben Brown was very, very good in this game. So yes, you would have liked to score more with all those runners in scoring position opportunities that you had, and we'll talk about that here on the other side after our break and what's going on at first base. But at the end of the day, a win is a win, and it is a good win because the Cincinnati Reds, they're a tough team for the Cubs so far. I mean, the 5 games the Cubs and the Reds have played have all been highly entertaining, highly competitive, frustrating at times, and also some of the most exciting moments of the season. Joe George here with you on the Locked On Cubs Postcast. We'll take a break. We'll talk about the bad stuff from today's game next here on the Locked On Cubs Postcast. The NBA playoffs are in full swing, and every night delivers highlight-worthy performances, major momentum shifts, and can't-miss moments. Whether it's a game-winning shot or a breakout player, there's never been a better time to get in on the action. FanDuel makes it easy to stay in the game before tip-off and live. With player props, performance trends, and same-game parlays, fans have more ways than ever to play smart and win big. I'm looking at the game tonight. I'm taking the over 221.5 in the Pacers and Knicks game. Not sure who's going to win it because we are getting close to this series being over or headed to a game 7, but I'll take the over in tonight's game. If you're new to FanDuel, it's the perfect time to sign up. Head to FanDuel.com and place your first $5 bet. If it wins, you'll get $200 in bonus bets. Make every moment more with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. All right, questions and comments as well live here on YouTube. You can drop them in there. We will get to as many of them as possible. All right, let's talk about what's going on with the runners in scoring position. So on the day today, the Chicago Cubs end up being 2 for 13 with runners in scoring position. So tons of opportunity to get this game, to blow this game open. and they just couldn't get it done. You look at the bottom of the first inning, Ian Happ, 2 doubles on the day. That was a very nice thing to see as well. He gets a double. Kyle Tucker gets hit in the elbow. So it's first and second, no outs, and the Cubs get no damage. Seiya Suzuki pop out. Carson Kelly, double play, inning over. Bottom of the fourth, Kyle Tucker gets a single. He gets to second base on a stolen base. Then again, nothing gets done in that one. PCA had a walk. At first and second again. They're in the bottom of the fourth inning. Bottom of the sixth, Ian Happ, leadoff double. Seiya Suzuki got the walk, first and second with 1 out. Carson Kelly, double play, inning over. Again, in the 7th inning, Crow-Armstrong leads off with a walk. His first ever multi-walk game in his Major League Baseball career. That kind of blew my mind when they said that. I know he doesn't walk a lot, but I figured he at least had one. He steals second, and then you have 3 guys: Dansby, Swanson, Nico Horner, Justin Turner. Strikeout, strikeout, strikeout. So lots of guys on base, lots of guys in runners in scoring position, and they just can't get it done. They cannot get it done throughout the game until they're in the 8th inning. So very frustrating in terms of that. 2 for 13 over the last, since Monday. The lineup has been not good. They scored 9 runs against the Rockies. They scored 2 runs in yesterday's game versus the Reds, 2 runs in this game versus the Reds. They're just kind of all slumping a little bit at this point. Look, you're going to go through these stretches. The Cubs, if you still look statistically, are top 4 in virtually every single team offensive category, from batting average to OBP to RBIs, runs scored. Everything is good about this team, their offense. They're just kind of going through one of those weeks right now. So we started the show today talking about the positive for Craig Counsell, for the move he made before the game by going with the opener. Michael Busch, though, can we just play him at first base? Can you just play him at first base instead of Justin Turner? Mark says here in the chat, Michael Busch, 3 for 27 against lefties. You're right. You're right, Mark. Here's the problem. Justin Turner's not that good either. He's barely hitting above 200 at this point in the season. Just give Michael Busch a chance. I think he started 1 game against lefties this year. That might be wrong, but I think it's 1 game he started. So most of his at-bats are going to be in the game, not taking him out in the situation. If he's against a lefty in the 7th inning and you want to bring in Justin Turner, that's fine. I understand a pinch hit situation. We've seen that work for Craig Counsell this year, but just let him play every day. He's your first baseman. He's on this team for a reason. You got him from the Dodgers for a reason. If he can't play against lefties, that's just, are you going to not play him in the playoffs? You're going to play Justin Turner instead of him? I guess. That's clearly what they're going to do the way this is going. But just give this guy a shot. See what he can do. Figure out what's wrong with his swing against lefties. And I don't know, coach him. If he can't hit lefties, coach him. That's your job as a coaching staff, is to help a player develop. And letting Michael Busch play against lefties occasionally would be nice to see. If Justin Turner was raking, fine. This isn't Carson Kelly and Miguel Amaya. This is not what it's been this season. And if it'd be 1 off day, so Michael Busch can have a day off, of course you give him the off day versus the lefty. But he hasn't played the last 2 days. Why? He's your guy at first base, or he's supposed to be. So just play him. Give him a shot against the lefty. And if you don't want to play him against the lefty, that's fine too. But Justin Turner can't be the option. I understand why he's on this team. He's a leader in the clubhouse. He's a veteran presence. It all makes sense. I totally understand, specifically within baseball, having that World Series champion in your clubhouse means something. It does matter. We've seen it work for the Cubs in the past. We've seen it work for teams all the time. Just to have that voice when you need it most. That's great. So Brujan can go back to the minors and Justin Turner cannot play instead of Brujan. But find someone else to play first base if Michael Busch can't hit lefties. Find someone else to be the guy that when you want to sit Michael Busch against lefties, find someone else to play instead of Justin Turner. That to me is what I want to see change. Just let Michael Busch have a shot. Because the real question is can it be any worse? No. The answer is no. Justin Turner was 0 for 3 in this game with 2 strikeouts. He's hitting .210 on the season. His on-base percentage is 302, so it's not like he's walking a ton either. It's just he's had a couple positive moments this year, and I don't want to. I'm not saying just totally get rid of him, but I just if Michael Busch can't play against lefties, one I just give him a shot, coach him up, like help him, just get tape of what's going on. But if it's not going to be Busch, then it shouldn't be Turner either. It doesn't have to be a this or that. And they're not going to make that move. Like they're not going to go out and acquire probably a backup first baseman when you have one on your team in Justin Turner. So I just don't quite understand why the Cubs are doing this. But it's just, I agree again here with Rob here in the chat live on YouTube. What's worse than letting Busch play? I don't know. Like just let him play. He has hit lefties in the past. Like he's not a great hitting a lefty guy, but move him down in the order then. Don't have him bat, have him bat eighth when a lefty is on the mound. If that's what you're worried about, move him down. Like put him below Carson Kelly. I don't know, put him exactly where Justin Turner's hitting, which is eighth. So just put Michael Busch there. Like I don't understand how your everyday first baseman can't be close to an everyday first baseman if you face two lefties in a row. I mean, even that situation they were in there late in the game when Justin Turner is having to come up in a critical situation, you can't make a move because if you announce Michael Busch, they're going to the bullpen and they're bringing in a lefty. And they talked about on the TV broadcast, it's, well, do you like the righty versus Turner, or do you like the lefty versus Busch? And all the different matchups and the analytics that go into it. I do get it. But if he's your first baseman, give him a shot against lefties because he's better than Justin Turner. That's all that really matters to me. He's better than Justin Turner. So just play him every single day. Overall, though, even though there was a lot of guys left on base and the Cubs ended up going, 2 for 13 again? Yeah, 2 for 13 with runners in scoring position. Ben Brown was fantastic. It was a good move by Craig Counsell to go with the opener. Drew Pomeranz did his job. The bullpen, Keller, Palencia, they were fantastic in this game as well. And the lineup did come through when it mattered most. So you got the win, and the series is tied. You go into Sunday's game hoping you can get another series win against the Cincinnati Reds. So that will do it for me for this episode of the Locked On Cubs postcast. You can find me on any social media platform at Joe George Radio. We will talk to you tomorrow. The Cubs play again at 1:20. So we'll talk to you again right around the same time. So thanks for watching. We will talk to you then.